Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sayane Otu, and I had a baby about three months and 3 weeks ago, and I made sure that I had a vlog documenting the entire pregnancy journey. And ever since I gave birth, I ran away from no, I didn't run away, but it's just been a lot. And every time I say I would do an update video for my people to know how we are doing, my YouTube family, but something just comes up and I cannot do it. So today I told myself, whether the heavens come down, I must sit down and I must tell you guys what has been happening. So say hi to look at our baby that was in the tummy. So he's almost 4 months. Hey baby, hey baby, how are you? He'll be 4 months on the 25th. And right now he's keeping us on our toes. Okay, so what has been happening? Now he won't let go of my hair, so I can tell you guys, can give you guys gist. And Bobo. Fine. You guys, who does it look like? Me or my husband? I think he has both our faces, like our features. I mean, because we both made him. First, I want to thank my mom and my mom-in-law because they both came to help us when I gave birth, and it was not easy. It was not easy at all. And I want to thank, of course, my Instagram community. They sent me lots of gifts, from food to, in fact, money. It was really amazing. I had complications after delivery, so it felt like my intestines were, I don't know, were tangled, for lack of a better phrase to use or a better word to use. So I wasn't able to eat. If I ate anything aside pap or oat, I would have serious pain and I would have to stool and I would be purging, I would be in pain. It was very painful. So that this went on for about a week after delivery. Then I had to browse on there's a name for it. I can't really remember the name for it, but I had to browse on the name for it. But it's something that happens when you just finish doing CS, and it has to do with your intestines. I'll find the name and put it here when I'm editing the video. It was really terrible, and we had to get Gavisol, yeah, and some other drugs to help me through that phase. To help me through that phase. Yeah. So that was the first thing that I experienced after the CS. That was really horrible. And I'm back. Baby is now with his daddy, the man that gave birth to him. Okay, so there was indigestion, and with Gavisol, I was able to. It was not an easy phase at all because I didn't even know what was wrong. I was told that it was ulcer at the hospital. Like they were trying to diagnose, yeah, what was wrong, and the drugs they gave me did not work. They gave me ORS, they gave me something for ulcer, it didn't work, the pain was still there. But Gavisol and another drug that the pharmacy prescribed was what worked for me. Then I did not have jaundice. So from the hospital, we were told that it was really high. So we were quite worried. I think my husband and my mom went for immunization, and then the matron there saw him and said, this baby has jaundice and it's high. So they came back and we panicked. The doctor where I gave birth confirmed that he had jaundice, and they tried to put him in this phototherapy thing that looked very it was very badly constructed. But then from there we were discharged and we went to Mother and Child Hospital. Thank you, my love. And then we saw a pediatrician, and she said that it's not high at all. Can you imagine? So she saw the test because we did a jaundice test at the hospital, and she was like, "It's normal. Every child has jaundice, and that is not high, and that breastfeeding can take care of it." At this point, I was still struggling to breastfeed. Like I was producing milk, but he had not yet latched properly, and pumping using the manual pump was very. I was using this very painful manual pump that I bought. I should have known that it was not good because of how cheap it was, but I just felt like pump is pump, but pump is not pump. The levels of pump, man, that there are levels of breast pump devices. That was not it at all. So I wasn't really enjoying the breastfeeding process. So I stopped pumping completely and just focused on breastfeeding him from the source. So with the breastfeeding from the source, we were able to clear the jaundice completely. So he didn't even need to go through any treatment at all. And this is just to say that if you're a new mom, please carry your child to a place where they actually have trained pediatricians, not just where you give birth. So there are different doctors for different things, and then so that you can get the right diagnosis for your child. Because if we were going by what we were told where I gave birth, we would have, in fact, the panic was not here. But going to the right place and seeing the professional, and she said that it wasn't high and that breastfeeding could take care of it. And so very funny thing happened. So while we were in the hospital, she tried to show me how to breastfeed, and it wasn't really funny, Sha, but now that I think back, it sounds funny. So she said I should cross my legs, and she said, "Come and sit here, let me show you how to breastfeed." My husband went out to pay for drugs for the baby, multivitamins, I think, here. So I now sat down in front of her, and she now says, "Cross your leg," and I just had CS. Why should I cross? How do you think I should actually be able to cross my leg? She now said, it's not up to 3 days. And you should have been healing by now. At that point, I felt like slapping the woman because I'm like, do you understand what you're saying? I had a major surgery and you're saying that I should cross my legs when I'm even struggling to stand up. Like my core is completely gone. Now that I think back, it's funny, but then it wasn't funny because I was like, you are a woman, you should know better. Why are you so insensitive? But then maybe it was just my hormones and all of those things that didn't make it funny there. But now when I think about it, I'm just like, okay, one of those things that you experience after giving birth. So we brought Andino home because when we got home from the hospital, we really packed a sleeping bag, or that if we go to mother and child, they might need to admit him. We were so worried, but then we came back, no jaundice, breastfeeding, and it cleared eventually. Then he had sticky eyes. Hey God, he used to have this yellowish secretion that will cover his two eyes. And the first time I saw that, I was so worried. So I now called my mom because she was here, like, "Mommy, what is wrong with him?" And she now said one of those things that happens after you give birth. Babies have discharges and all of those things, so it's not like a big deal. So I also browsed on Google, and they said it would clear after some time. And then we had circumcision. We went to the hospital together for this one, but then I left my husband and went outside because I could hear Andino's tears, and that was like 8 days after the CS. I wasn't even myself. I was still having pain, and then just hearing him in pain really, it wasn't cool at all. And the way they were carrying him, like the nurses, like it was nothing. And I'm like, this is my baby, my first baby. People should take it easy. So my husband sat through it basically. Me, I went out. When they were done, I came back and I breastfed him. We had the naming before now. For the naming, we did not really have a lot of people over. We just had our church ministers, a few neighbors, and then some of our family that were around. I had my friend Nukis come and all of that. It was just a small event. My husband ordered food. Everybody ate it. They were even tired. We had excess food. We had 2 coolers of jollof rice, and we had just like 15 people. We had small chops. We had drinks. It was really good. Our house was upside down. Like whenever I think about the first few weeks after delivery, like the house was upside down. I didn't know where anything was. pampers, like baby clothes, like there were boxes that had not even been opened. It was a it was a crazy time. And in all of those times, I still had to learn how to master the breastfeeding, the pump. Oh, God. Whenever I think about the first month, in fact, the first week, the first 2 weeks after after I gave birth, it was crazy.
9 days after my C-section and getting out of bed is still a struggle. I've stopped my pain relievers. I stopped taking pain relievers 3 days ago. I'm just on antibiotics, and leaving the bed is hard. Like my core, something has happened to my core. But one thing that makes me jump out of bed, even when I feel a little bit of pain, is Andino's cry. Once Andino starts crying like this, no matter how, I do not give myself time to think about it. I just fly out of bed, literally. Especially if it's the night. Like, you know that night sleep you're sleeping, and then you now hear your child crying. It's like the biggest motivation. Today was also circumcision. It was crazy. I couldn't stay there, man. I just left my baby with my husband, and then the nurse came and carried him. I could hear the screams from the waiting room in the hospital, and coincidentally, I was also waiting for my CS site to be dressed. So the hospital where I gave birth is far away from where we live. So I am back to the place where we did the antenatal. So that's where Andino did the circumcision, and that's where I will be going for my CS dressing. So I was asked to come back I think on Friday. So I'll be dressing it every 5 days. So when they were done, they brought him out. Oh, I almost cried for my baby. The pain. They gave me the foreskin. They asked that I flush the foreskin down the toilet. Guys, recovery has not been easy. Hey, recovery from C-section. My mom said she wanted to use hot water on my body. I said no. As if the pain that I'm going through is not enough, I'll now come and take hot water on my body, massage. I'm drinking my raspberry tea every day, and that should help me my uterus healing. The antibiotics too will help. See that hot water body massage? It's not in the books for me at all. So I'm on serious breastfeeding duty today because of the circumcision pain. So once he wakes up, I breastfeed, he sleeps again. I've done that like 4 times now. And today I was able to get enough sleep. Like, I slept well after we came back from the hospital. Because when I breastfed him, he said to sleep, and me too. I slept. I'm even able to edit some content for Instagram today. I can't wait for my YouTube videos to catch up with my reality. So I'll be releasing a video every day till I can be sharing in real time. I know. Okay. Let me try and get some more sleep.
It was the craziest. Like this very small baby in Yuvu's arms. My husband said once that it's like we thought that baby would come big. Like, you know when you're like, I want a baby, and then the baby comes and he's so small. Oh my God. So we really appreciate our moms that were here. My mom was here first, and she had to go back to work. So after 2 weeks, she left with Shalom, and my mom-in-law came and stayed for a whole month. And they were both the ones that were bathing the baby. And used to cry during bad times so much that I would have to come out of the room to come and be holding his hands. My husband would be here, he would be crying and crying and crying. So we used music at first, and he would just stop crying. After a while, the music did not work again. He was still crying. So my mom-in-law said we should give him food after. Yeah, that was how my husband was. You know, it took us a month after she left to know that the cry was hunger. So you know, I was breastfeeding from source, yeah. So I wasn't really knowing how much food he was getting into his body because I was not producing a lot of breast milk. So when I began to pump and my supply grew, one day I made a post on IG about how he cries when he eats, and one lady was like, try making him full before you bath him. So that day I pumped. I began pumping after that time. So I had like 120 ml. Yeah, that was in the fridge. So I gave him before we bath him, and he did not cry. And since then, before we bath him every time, we feed him about 120 to 150 ml before we bath him, and he doesn't cry. Oh, he only cries when we try to wash his hair. So he starts to whimper. But then if you cheer him like Andy Bobo, Andy, if you sing to him, he wouldn't cry so much. So PPD, postpartum depression. I had this for about 2 to 3 weeks because I wasn't going out. I was just sitting down in the room, and the curtains would be down. And every day I'll just sit down there, try to breastfeed and and he would suck and suck and suck till it was the worst time. It was the worst time. I was down, and for the first time I understood what people mean when they say they are depressed. You know, when you feel like you are falling, like you're falling down. You don't want to fall down. You're falling down a black hole. Now you don't want to fall down, but you cannot get yourself up. So like every day you keep falling down and falling down and falling down, and everything triggers you. Everything is more painful. Everything is like, it's like, I don't have the words to really explain, but that sentence, feel like you're falling down a black hole and you cannot help yourself. Like I'll tell myself, you are a mom now, you have to be strong, you have to try to push through. And every other day I would wake up and I would still feel very, very shitty. So I don't know if it was the hormones, because I know that before I gave birth, I read somewhere where they said that when you give birth, your hormones, like it's like all the pregnancy hormones start to drop. So that hormonal drop leads to postpartum depression, or can lead to, yeah. So I don't know what I would have done differently, but I just know that it was a very, very terrible time in my life. Like I would hold Andino and I would cry through breastfeeding him. It was bad. I think at some point I had to call my brother because he's a pastor and he does counseling. I was like, see, I'm going through this. I need you to just help me. And he spoke life into me and I just felt better. And since that day, I have pushed myself out of that black hole. And I began to vlog about Andino, myself, motherhood on Instagram. So I actually vlog for 30 days non-stop. Like 30 freaking days, and that activity just helped me to get my mental health back in check. And now I'm back to working out and I feel a lot better about myself. I have even, to show you how much I have recovered, I even joined the MFM 70 days prayer and fasting. Like I am fasting, I am breastfeeding. I fast till like 11, 12 on some days, and I stop my last meal by 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. I pray every day with the YouTube prayer channel, and I've gotten myself back. Although I still feel some tightness when I'm trying to stretch, but then I can say that there's been a lot of progress. And if you had told me when I was feeling so down that I would be here a few months later, I would not have believed you. So now that I know what those few months are like in our next pregnancy, our next babies, I would find a way to. And that's why I'm even doing all these videos, so that when I look back at these videos, I would know that, oh, it got better. You were not just stuck there forever and ever. Okay, so PPD, and I also feel like if I had continued my vitamin D supplement, it would not have been that bad. Because I read that vitamin D is good for boosting your moods. So I feel like more hospitals here should recommend supplements to help you overcome postpartum depression. I feel like it should be a big deal. And and bassinet. Like by the time he was 3 weeks, he was already he didn't even enjoy bassinet sleeping. From in fact, he used to feel like it was restricting him too much. So, and I would always have to stand up even with my healing stitch, because I always felt like, is he okay, is he good? So when I sleep, I'm keeping one leg on the floor so I can just get up and peek peek into the bassinet. But as at 6 weeks, we started to start co-sleeping. So we put him on this and on our bed. Yeah, and then my husband sleeps, I sleep. That way it's easier for me to breastfeed him and we can easily check on him. Now please don't go and say I said you should sleep with your baby. Oh. There are safety guidelines you should follow if you plan to sleep with your baby. So just search for them on Google so that you don't accidentally sleep on your baby and then your baby dies, because it's a bit risky. So before we did that, I had to read up on the safe ways you can sleep your baby on the same bed. That's co-sleeping. So please do that. Immunization, hey God, the first one was a breeze. He slept throughout. But you see the 6 week immunization. This boy ran fever. We had to come back and put his thighs where he had the injection under running water. He had fever all through the night. But we used paracetamol. But it was the first time I'd actually seen him running fever. So it was crazy. I was scared. But the following day he felt better and he was back to himself. God for the milk booster, for real. Their breast pump, the first time I used their breast pump, I produced very very low, so I just dumped it and continued to breastfeed from source. But then I got so tired and then I told my husband, let us introduce formula. But he said let us wait till baby is 1 month. But I was so tired, to be very very honest. So I said, babe, let's just introduce formula. I mean, it took Nan in the hospital. So we gave him Nan. First day, no reaction. Second day, he started to react badly. He would just eat and start pooing and pooing and pooing and pooing. And a lot of poo. And then I think the third day was so bad that he was crying hysterically. It was a Sunday, so we rushed to the hospital. It was not easy. Oh. When we saw the doctor, the first thing he asked us was that, is he on exclusive or is he taking formula? When we now said formula, he did not even want to hear anything. He was just saying, this small baby of 3 months, of 3 weeks, already giving him formula. How won't he be having? I felt he was being rude per se. Like, why are you just talking to us harshly? Do you know what we are going through as new parents? Do you know how it has been hard for us? But then I think it was God that made me to calm down, to really listen to him. And he said we should start pumping. So I was like, sir, we are pumping, but it's not enough. He kept saying, when you're not breastfeeding, try pumping. And then my husband's auntie was there. She just encouraged us, and we came home. And I told myself I have to just do my best to give my son, like, I have to try and give him the best. So if they say I should pump, I would pump. So I started eating more. That explains the weight gain. My God, it's not easy breastfeeding. Hey God. So started eating more, started pumping from 10, it would increase. Now I pump 150 ml like severally during the day, and I'm in a good place. Of course, I also use the milk booster product, so I recommend them. If you're a nursing mom, a new mom, a mom to be, please, the milk booster on Instagram. Healing, like I said, I have healed. I have healed. Yes, I have healed. I have healed physically, mentally, emotionally. I am in a better place, and I am not the same person I was before. Like, I have done some very hard things this period that has made me believe that there is nothing you cannot do if you set your mind to it. And also, you have to surround yourself with the right people, you're in the right things, and do not underrate the amount of work that goes into like that you have to put into bringing a new human into the world. I can't remember last time I slept through the night. Like, I'm always checking on him, worried about him. This is I'm feeding, changing diaper. But this is me. Like, I'm good. I'm still able to show up on social media. I'm still able to work with clients. And we don't have any help. It's just the two of us. So these are things that I used to think that we would not be able to do. But we are doing it one day at a time. And it's hard, but we are doing it. And I'm so happy that we have the grace, and somehow our baby is growing. Before you know it, now it's 6 months and we are done with the newborn phase completely, and we are now pros. So that's all on the newborn updates. The next video is coming soon.